Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Haseena has been in power for the past 14 years. Her supporters describe her as a savior, and her critics say she's a dictator, accusing her of human rights abuses. In a rare and wide-ranging interview with the BBC, Sheikh Haseena sits down with me, Yalda Hakim, to discuss some of the most important issues facing her country and the international community. She remains defiant when it comes to the treatment of the minority Rohingya refugees and says she's in no hurry to step down as the country's leader. You are the world's longest serving female leader. You're often described as the Iron Lady of Bangladesh.
No.
You're the daughter of the founder of
Yes.
the country. I just want to know how the last 14 years have been for you personally.
I can tell you one thing, that last 14 years is the best time for Bangladesh, because in every aspect we made tremendous development, which we could not do it in the past, because you know that after the independence, our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Rahman, he got only 3 years and 7 months time to build up the water of his country and develop the country. And after that, the military ruler took over power directly or indirectly, overtly or covertly. And then in 2008 election, when we won the election and we formed government, so it was continuous democratic process for 14 years, and that really helped our country to develop. Every sector we made some progress.
I mean, your country has been described as a flawed Muslim democracy, and then there are those who say it's sliding into autocracy under your rule. What went wrong?
How could you say autocracy? In my whole life, I struggled for democracy. And our party, Bangladesh Awami League, we established democracy in this country. And before that, I told you that we had military ruled for 21 years, and then again military-backed government for another 8 years. That means altogether 29 years out of 50 years. So only this time, these 14 years, we had true democratic system and stability, and that's why we could make progress.
Why then does the UN Human Rights Chief raise concerns about allegations of extrajudicial killings, forced disappearances, torture, cracking down on the press?
I don't know, but actually the allegation they brought, but they couldn't prove it that much. Well, some group, they mentioned a big number, then when we inquire, it was perhaps 5 or 6 persons, but sometimes people themselves, they hide, actually sometimes some people hide themselves because of different issues. But extrajudicial killing we never support. And in our country, I think, I don't know any other country, they have these rules, but in our country the law is there. If there is anything doing wrong by our law enforcement agency, immediately we brought them book and they go for justice. So even any organization, if they have done any misdeed, immediately they get punishment.
Why did the US impose sanctions then on one of your paramilitary organizations?
That paramilitary organization was set up by the US. Actually, with their advice, it was established in 2004, and all the training, equipments, everything provided by US. And I feel that the way they train them, now they are acting such a way. So how and why they put sanction, it is really a big question to me.
What do you think it is? What do you think the reason for it is?
I don't know, maybe they don't want me to continue, or the progress we are making for Bangladesh, they may not accept it, or something like this. This is my feeling, because you see, terrorism at one stage, terrorism become a big problem for every country, even developed country. In our country, we control terrorism, and we had only one incident. After that, there was no incident took place. So our law enforcement agencies were working very hard to keep control and also make the progress.
I mean, the accusations, I want to pick up on a few things that
Sure,
you
sure.
said, but the accusations are that before the sanctions in 2018, this is while you're in power, there were 466 people who were killed by the security forces. In 2019, 388 people killed. In 2020, 188 people killed. Then when the sanctions were imposed,
Listen,
it went down to 15.
The number they mentioned, they could prove it. Mostly, it was not that they were, killed by the law enforcement agencies, or because we wanted the evidences. They send us, we will look into it.
I mean, there are two whistleblowers from the paramilitary organization as part of a documentary that was done by DW who said that the orders come at the highest level, meaning you, to kill some of these people. This was a documentary that was done by a German organization.
Well, how they made this organization, I don't know. But what is happening in America, you can see. Almost every day, even in a school or shopping mall or restaurants, people are entering, killing, even the school children. Then other common people been killed by the either law enforcement agencies or the armed cadres. I think US should look into that in their country, what is the situation? They should save the children's life. They are not taking care of that, their own people. But the allegation they brought, or the number they said, we asked them that give us the evidence. They couldn't place that.
And yet they're not lifting the sanctions.
Well, sanction and counter-sanction, this is some kind of game, what I feel. It is still not clear to me that why they put sanction to our country. I can tell you one thing, look at me. My whole family was assassinated. My father, he was the then president of the country. Then my mother, my three brothers, the younger one was only 10 years old, my two sisters, and so all together 18 members. Those killers, they got indemnity. That means you cannot punish them. I had no right to ask for justice. I couldn't file any case against that. That time they didn't put any sanction. Rather, still one killer, he took shelter in America, US. Time and again I am asking or requesting the government or the president, directly I send letter to them.
Why do you think they're not listening to you?
I don't know.
I mean, you've raised this in Parliament as well, this idea that they want regime change. Do you have sort of evidence around that? Because you're raising this concern again now.
Well, that is the big question, that why they put this sanction. When the law enforcement agencies is working to control the terrorism and action taking the violator of human rights. But why they supporting the violators, not the victim or not the people?
Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, the UN have all expressed concern.
I know
about
that all
the
12 together, they, placed this, but they couldn't prove.
Are they lying?
I don't know the international game.
Why would they want to remove you?
Well, they killed my father, those who killed our family, even my 10 years old brother. Perhaps those killer or conspirator never wanted that anybody from that family should come to power. And then when the military ruler ruled the country, that time they not only ruled the country, they killed so many people in our law enforcement agency, our army, police, even our party. Thousands of people been killed. So that time we never saw any sanction.
The feeling.
So this is the question also from me to the international community, that why they were so blind that time. They never said or never put any sanction to the military dictator or the people, those who killed. Even in a broad daylight, there was a armed attack or grenade attack on me, and 22 members of my party been killed and nearly 700 people been wounded.
Well,
That time I didn't saw any sanction.
But the feeling is that the RAB paramilitary organization ordered the killings of journalists, opposition leaders and dissidents, activists. There's here, the Observer says earlier this year that the police are accused of a coordinated campaign of violence against the opposition. Officers have fired on peaceful protesters.
Listen, I was in opposition. I know the ruling party how tortured us. We had no right to hold any meeting.
But are you saying that at least 20,000 cases have been filed against the supporters of the opposition, the BNP? More than 7,000 members and activists have been arrested, 1,000 people detained. Is that what's happening?
Yes, what they did, they killed people. They throw Molotov cocktail. They set fire in the public bus. About 3,800 public buses been burned down with passengers. They killed common people in train or launch or private car, or so they killed people. So what to do? Will you not file case against them? Not only that, they attack our public meeting or they attack common people. Well, that is their movement. They said it is their movement. So that way they kill people. So what to do?
So you detained them and anyone who has been a supporter of the opposition?
No, it is not their supporter. They are the killer. They torture people, they kill people. That's why they got this punishment. Or they corrupt. I don't understand why all those organizations do not see what crime they have done.
Well, they're saying, the opposition is saying that Sheikh Haseena is dreaming of staying in power forever without any election and competition.
Of course not. For election and for voting right, I struggle in my whole life against the military ruler. And the system now we have introduced, it is only our party, when we are in power. Now the election commission,
Transparency.
listen, we passed the law to establish the election commission. Election, we always wanted the free fair election. Now our voter list, it is with the photo, the voter list and ID card. We introduced the transparent ballot boxes. If you want to know about it, then you have to go back to in the past history of our country, how election had been manipulated or rigged, or the result was.
Well, you got 96% of the vote in the last election.
Yes, why not? People voted for me because of our work, because we work for them.
That's more than some dictators in Egypt, for example. I mean, that's the same, on par with Vladimir Putin. Listen,
we have 170 million people, right? Now, our people are very much conscious about political right. Since our League formed government, we work for our people. We reduce our poverty level. we ensure food security, we ensure their health care, education, housing, all the basic needs we ensured. So people, of course, always vote for us. Why not?
But I just want to bring this back to your election in 2018 and why the international community has concerns about the next election early next year. Transparency International said they found irregularities, 47 out of the 50 constituencies surveyed, fake votes, ballot stuffing, voters and opposition polling agents barred from entering the centres.
Could they prove that? Where is the proof? I want that.
They're saying
no, I want the document. No, I want the document. Because I am telling you, 2008 election, there is no objection, nothing, there is no, nobody question about the election, right? Those political party, 20-party alliance, BNP, Jamaat-e-Islami all together, how many seats they got that time? In 2008 election, only 29 seats out of 300. Because of their misrule, their corruption, nepotism, terrorism activities, people rejected them. They voted for us, voted for me and my party and my alliance. Now, 2014, those parties didn't participate. What they did? They started killing people. 500 schools they burned down. How brutally they
but you're currently
now, no,
in
let me
power.
finish. Let me finish. So they did not participate, but they tried to jeopardize the electoral system.
Why are these international observers saying that these elections were not fair and free?
That I don't know how they look at it, but the election, definitely it was free, fair election. Now in 2018 election, they participated at the beginning. But what was the situation? We have 300 constituency, right? For 300 constituency, you have to nominate 300 people, right? 300 candidate. But what was the situation of them? They nominated about 700. So they started fighting with each other. At one stage, they withdrew from the election. They didn't participate.
I mean, but if we
My point is, when they didn't participate in the election, when they withdraw from the election, then how they can say, or how they can claim that the election was not free and fair? They have no right to say that.
It's not the opposition saying this. It's Transparency International. It's
I know that. I know that. Transparency International said that. I have my doubt about their transparency. I can tell you. It's frankly I am speaking.
So you think the UN, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International...
No, UN didn't say that.
No, but in terms of the human rights record, you're saying that you don't understand why these organizations...
Listen, I told you, the human rights, they never thought about me, about my human rights. When I lost all my family members, I never received any support from them. But why? Why my whole family was assassinated? Why they didn't raise their...
the Americans,
voice.
There are some people who think that the reason why they have imposed these sanctions on the paramilitary organization is to put Bangladesh back onto the path of the right human rights record. How do you respond to that?
Bangladesh always maintain the human rights. Human rights, it does not only mean that the body security or... No, to me human rights means their security, their right to food, right to vote, right to live, everything we maintain.
What about the Rohingya? What about the Rohingya community?
Rohingya community, you tell me, we gave them shelter on humanitarian ground.
Which you received a lot of praise for. Internationally, they praised you for bringing 1 million in a time of desperate need. The international community praised Bangladesh, they praised you for bringing these people here. What's happened 5 years on is that there's overcrowding,
there's arson, there's violence. There have been attempts to move them to another island, but there's concern around the flooding in that island and that some Rohingya have attempted to flee and drown.
I'm very sorry. Have you been there? Have you seen the island? How we developed that island for them, those who are living, how they are living, and those who are now going to that island, they are living in a better way. Because we made arrangement for 100,000 family. The house, high shelter, everything is there. Who told you that it is flooding? All are false. Those who didn't went there, they can say, but there is.
So that island is not flood prone?
No, of course it is flood proof. There is all embankment we build up. People are living there. Even children are getting at least for school or healthcare, or even actually their livelihood is better than this camp. It's a camp place, and that area actually it was totally destroyed. All the plant and everything. It was a deep forest, but totally gone. And now they are fighting with each other. They are indulged in drug trafficking or human trafficking. So we wanted that either international community, before bring this allegation, they should make sure that they should go back to their own country. Yes, and they should live a better life.
You mean go back to Myanmar?
Myanmar, yeah, of course, they should go back their own country.
Do you think though is it safe for them to go there?
Listen, UN and other organizations, they should take care of it. That yes, in their own country, they are safe. It is their duty to do it, not ours. When they suffered, we brought them to allow them to come to our country. We made all the arrangement for them. 40,000 women were pregnant. We have to establish a field hospital, and we make sure that they get all the treatment, their food, everything. At the beginning, nobody come forward. It is Bangladesh people from our country. They came forward and they supported them. And in the island, that island is totally safe, and those who are living there, they are living in a better way.
What about these repatriations back to Myanmar? The UN says that no one should be forced to return. We are hearing reports, the BBC, that a group of about 20 Rohingya were sent back to go and look at a facility to see if they could live there. And they have said that there were also junta leaders brought to the Cox's Bazar.
Yeah.
They've told human rights groups that they were lied to and deceived into meeting with these military junta by Bangladeshi authorities.
No, I think, I don't know why they said they voluntarily they went there, because their representative came, they talked to them, voluntarily they went there to see. Nobody tell lies. Why we should tell lie? And tell me one thing, how long one country can bear this burden of 10 million, 1 million people, and day by day it is increasing. How long we can bear this burden? They should go back to their own country. And yes, voluntarily they went there to see the condition. We didn't force them.
How are you going to deal with this?
Well, we are asking the international community, this Human Rights Commission and UNO and other international organizations, they should make room for these people to go back to their own country. It is their duty. They cannot put this burden forever on us. Already it is overpopulated country, and our common people, our local people, they are suffering.
Do you feel supported by the international community on this matter?
Yes, they are supporting us, but they couldn't make anything positive. That is the, unfortunate thing, that yes, they are, when we discuss with them, they support, yes, they should go back and this and that. but then they can't do anything in positive. Why? That is my question. Now on humanitarian ground, we give shelter to this Rohingya people, right? It is for humanitarian ground, right?
Yes.
Now tell me one thing. When we give shelter such a big community, big group, then how this international community blame us that we are violating human rights in our country? When we can give shelter to other people from other country, then why we should violate human rights of our own country? So all the allegation is totally fabricated. I don't know why they are doing it. That is my question also. Why this allegation to Bangladesh time and again?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sheikh Haseena.